Hey everybody, Shoebox Legends here. Thanks for joining me today for my Big Fish Card of the Month reveal for the month of October. In case you missed it, I have mentioned it a few times this year, but this is my 15th year back in the hobby as an adult and my second year on the YouTube platform, and decided to celebrate by trying to get one big significant card every month of the year and revealing it here on the channel. So I'm surviving in between on little small buys and cheap pickups, which is most of what I show here on the channel. But today's card is going to be a very big addition. And what I've done with a good portion of the cards in this monthly challenge this year is kind of bolster up some areas of my hockey card collection that I felt like were holes or gaps that I needed to plug. And today's card is going to be an example of that. The two cards that you see in front of you are setting the stage. It is going to be a hockey card today. These were two previous card of the month or Big Fish Card of the Month candidates from earlier in the year. The second year Wayne Gretzky and the Mark Messier rookie card, both courtesy of 1980 O-Pee-Chee. Today's card is an Oilers card as well, but it's a modern card, maybe even ultra modern depending on your definition. It's not a card that I specifically had on my radar, but I just had an opportunity to pick this up at a price point that was too good to be true. So without any further ado, we can do the rest of the talking while we stare at it. Here is the card. This is the 2015-16 O-Pee-Chee Platinum Connor McDavid rookie card. And furthermore, it is the Trax Parallel from Upper Deck, who now produces the O-Pee-Chee brand name. This is the same effect that you would see referred to as maybe like Mojo on other cards, but it almost looks like, I'll get it in the light here, like a tire imprint going diagonally across the back of the card, or the background of the card, I should say. But just beautiful shine. This is a gorgeous rookie card for collectors like me who enjoy modern, shiny refractors of star players. Of course, McDavid, and I know he has his detractors, but in my opinion, he is the single most talented player in the National Hockey League and the single most talented player on the globe right now when it comes to the sport of ice hockey. Really, the only thing this guy's missing on his resume are some Stanley Cups, or even one Stanley Cup, which obviously, Gretzky and Messier enjoyed plenty of throughout the 80s, and Messier even beyond that. But as an individual, he has been performing at the absolute pinnacle of the sport for years now. Was so happy to lock this up. I benefited I think in three ways on this card. Number one, the seller that sold this had mostly much higher end McDavid stuff than this. A lot of PSA 10s and a lot of really rare serial numbered autograph, relic type stuff, comma cards all day long. So I think the particular seller that had this kind of viewed it as maybe like a lesser card in his inventory. And so because of that, was available at a really, really cheap price. I mean, cheaper than any other copy that I've seen listed of this in a PSA 9 over the years. The second reason I made out, even beyond that, he was accepting offers. And so I was able to go back and forth negotiating with the seller and got this for an even cheaper price than his already very reasonable offer price or initial asking price. And then the third thing that helped me out, this was a Canadian-based seller. And so I really made out well with the currency exchange rate between the Canadian dollar and the US dollar. So all of that combined and kind of created a perfect storm of circumstances. I am always on the lookout for McDavid cards. He is definitely someone who I collect, but I wasn't, planning on picking up this exact card at this time. But as a friend of mine, Eric at Those Back Pages likes to say, I take the approach of casting a wide net and waiting for the right opportunity. And this was definitely a case where I just couldn't let this card go at this price point. I'm not sure if I'll ever see one this cheap again, but just a gorgeous card. McDavid was my preseason pick for the Art Ross Trophy for the point or the scoring lead in the NHL this year. Don't exactly have to be Nostradamus to make that prediction. He's won that 4 out of the last 6 seasons. He's been the scoring lead, so I expect much of the same. This is still just his age 26 season that he is going into, and he just passed in the opening days of the season the 700 career point threshold. And I think the reason this scored a 9, if it's not obvious, the front looks gorgeous. This is a PSA 10 front all day long. The back is off center left to right. Now, if the front of the card looked like this, it would drive me nuts and it would be a deal breaker. But I do not mind an off center back, especially if the front looks this good. And I'm able to bring home a PSA 9 card of this significance to the collection at the price point that I was able to. This is not yet a comma card, although I think it's very close to that. And I expect that it will be a comma card in the very near future. But as I said, I paid not even close to that. I paid well under half of that. And in fact, I'd have to go back and check, but I think, if I were to compare, I was probably closer to the $250 mark than I was to the $500 mark when this one ended. So just a really good opportunity there. This is a very special rookie card. I feel honored to have this in my hockey collection, and I will certainly enjoy it as I see McDavid and the Oilers kind of progress through the rest of the season and really the rest of his career. So sort of a cornerstone card for my always growing Connor McDavid collection, and one that I'm really, really excited to show off as my card of the month for the month of October 2022. Thanks so much for joining me for this one. I'll certainly be back in the very near future with some more content, hockey, baseball, non-sport, and otherwise. But in the meantime, I hope everybody's enjoying the hobby and staying safe. Take care.